Welcome everyone to Mayor's Message 2024. I'm Jeff Shaver. I'm the Mayor of Augusta Township. I've lived in Augusta Township for over 45 years, 20 years in Maitland, and then the remainder of the time on South Campbell Road. My wife Janet and I have 3 lovely daughters, and we have 4 grandchildren. So my past experience is site manager at Can-Am in Brockville for 40 years, and also I served the Canadian Forces as a reservist for 40 years. I was deputy mayor last council and enjoyed it, and now I'm mayor. So we just finished a mayor's breakfast actually on March 22nd. We had close to 100 people attend. It was great. So I just wanted to basically go through some different categories of our township and give you a brief update. And if you find this interesting and you find it's going to be helpful, please let us know. Give us some feedback either through your administration department or send me an email or whatever. Give me a call. But if this is something you want to see every so often, because our township's going to be busy in the future. First of all, we have a great council. I have my Deputy Mayor, Adrian Winans. We have Councillor Tanya Henry, Councillor Michelle Bowman, and Councillor Hendrik Pape. All have expertise in special areas. Of course, Adrian his expertise is in farm, agricultural. Hendrik is with IT and basically Wi-Fi and everything. And Tanya and Michelle are very good with recreation committees and working with the public. So a great team you have. And feel free to come to our meetings, our council meetings, and listen to see what's going on. Or join us online because we're live streaming it too. The council at the township office, we have our CAO, Chief Administration Officer, Shannon Garrity, and his team, the administration team, the planning team, the building team, and of course accounts, the treasurer. So all great staff. And in the last 5 years, we've built up our building department and our planning because we knew what was coming to this area. So they have been working so hard the last little while. So anyway, great staff, and we're always looking for feedback too, positive or negative, but give us feedback on that. So what's happened lately? Well, we finished our tax rate. It was 7%. It was high, but we didn't have much choice, and we kind of fell in line with other municipalities as well, as you know. Main reasons, insurance. Insurance is skyrocketed, and also labor costs. And the other things are assessment. The province has not done, or MPAC has not done assessments since 2016. So that is really hurting our revenue for taxes. Also, the cost of goods sold when we have to repair or buy a new tire for a vehicle or even copy paper. It's all gone up in price. And also, the one thing is the government, provincial and federal, have cut back funding in certain areas. So this all hurts and affects the tax rate. The other thing that's new this year is, and the counties have started, and other municipalities have started, and we're mandated by the province, is the asset management. Asset management plan basically makes you devote so many of your tax dollars into your reserves so that your reserves do not dwindle down to nothing. So it forces you to stick to that plan, and it also helps you, guide you through on buying what equipment, when to buy it, and our buildings or equipment or anything you spend, roads, etc. So anyway, it's a good system. Private industry has used it for years, so it's been long overdue. Anyway, that kicked off this year. Just to touch on reserves, our reserves aren't in the greatest shape, but they're not bad. So our plan is to start building a little bit up on each of the reserves. And we've certainly got enough now for any rainy day, but again, this equipment costs quite a bit when you have to buy a dump truck or a snowplow or even IT, buying a new server. Everything costs money. and services cost money. So that's why we have reserves. The other thing we do with the roads, we have a roads needs study. That's done every 10 years. And what happens is we have consultants look at all our roads, either gravel or paved, and how much they've been driven and the condition they're in, along with the ditches and drainage and everything else. And they put out a report to us. And we're the same as every other municipality. And they basically list the roads we should be looking at first. And where do we put our money for that year we budgeted, and what roads. So almost every municipality follows a roads needs study. In the past, Augusta, as I mentioned, we've had no growth for the last 50 years. Now, the last growth we had was DuPont coming into our area. And when DuPont came in, they had 1,500, 2,000 employees, and that's how Maitland was created, by the workers, building a community there. As far as residential, we've had the odd, house come up here and there, but we haven't had any industry, any new industry come in. We've had small industry here, like small businesses, and my hat goes off to them because they are really helping the township. And I'll give a few examples. One is Dixon's, Arnold Dixon, with his Dixon's Cafe and General Store. He just put that up this year. It's great. BD Duclos built their new building on County Road 26. It's again, another local business and growing. Selleck Mechanical Construction, selling tractor and tire business. They've done extremely well. And they employ over 100 people. So it's these little firms that have really grown. The tower in Maitland, Philip Ling purchased that just by riding his bicycle by from Toronto to Montreal one day. Thought it was a wonderful site. It's taken a time to build, mostly because of the supply, trying to get the right parts because of COVID and everything else. So it's gradually going to start taking shape. And he wants to make that into basically somewhere where you can go and appreciate the river. So it'd be like a tourist, not only tourist, but education-wise too. And we have Maison Maitland, who is in a Georgian-style home, and they added on 2 villas this year, beautiful villas. Anyway, it's a cooking school there. Cynthia and Brian run that, and it's very nice. So what do we need? We need large industry, because large industry pays most of the taxes, not residential. So what has happened in the last year? We've had Carlton Mushroom move in on Blue Church Road. Now, Carlton Mushroom, they should be ready and operational probably late this year. They're waiting for certain parts to come in, but I think everybody's seen the complex, and it's quite large. They'll be doing fertilizer there and shipping it off to 3 or 4 different locations. We also have V6 Ag. It's on Agronomy. It's on County Road 2, and they haven't started building yet, but you can see the sign there, and they hold about 40 acres there. We've got a couple new businesses coming in. Unfortunately, I can't say too much about them. One's going to be, they purchased 500 acres of land on County Road 15 and Blue Church Road, and they'll employ about 300 people. And it's the type of industry I think everyone will enjoy. And we've had other people. Now, our industrial park, which pretty well runs from Blue Church Road right down to almost to Maitland, it's starting to be noticed because we've got the best logistical area in Ontario, if not Canada. And what's happening is we're midway between Toronto and Montreal. We're close to 2 U.S. borders. We have the rail line that runs through there, and we have the Port of Johnstown and the 401 corridor. So this makes a perfect, logistically excellent place for somebody to bring in a business. And in the last year, we've had so many inquiries by global companies. I've mentioned that in my newsletters we send out, and we're really close on getting a good global company to come in here, and this will help a lot. Now, you see a lot of things happening around Blue Church Road. Yes, that's Carlton Mushroom moved there. There's a possibility of a couple of companies in that area. And we want more access to the 401 corridor, or Highway 401. Going through Prescott is not an option. It's a little bit too congested. And I talked to the mayor there too. And, we don't need more traffic coming off on Edward Street. So we talked to the MTO, Ministry of Transportation, and we're trying to get on-off ramps at Blue Church Road, which will help, decongest some of that area. The other thing we got to think about is when we bring in businesses, we got to think about housing and where all the employees are going to live. And again, we haven't had any housing spurts, you might say, in this township for a long time, other than Maitland 50 years ago. So council now is actively looking at areas where we can put in subdivisions or more housing, and different types of housing. We don't want the standard 3-bedroom bungalow and it takes up 2 acres. No. As you know, these days they're pushing all different types of housing. It could be townhouse style, it could be apartment style, it could be a smaller unit. And for example, we have, and we just made the announcements, but we have Cabin, that's the name of a company, and they've got 44 acres just north of Maynard School. And basically, they're going to be putting in 67 net zero microgrid homes. Now, a lot of people refer to them as tiny homes. They are not tiny homes. Tiny homes are 400 square feet and under. These can range up to 2,000 square feet. They're just, the best route is hop on your computer, check out Cabin, C-A-B-N, and take a look at them there. We also have a real life unit, you might say, on LaRue Mills Road, just off County Road 2. That's in Maitland, or Mallorytown. So take a look at that. It's a beautiful, beautiful home. And we also purchased 77 acres that are right next to Prescott. They're just immediately west of Prescott. And we're looking at that now. Basically, what can we do there? And again, we've talked with Prescott Council, and we need housing, and some of it would be commercial, retail, industrial, but we really need to look at that and get developers involved in that. And not only that, but every settlement area. I mentioned Maynard. Well, we've got other locations. We've got Algonquin, we got North Augusta. Anything where there's a settlement area, be expected that it may grow. And when you're close to a settlement area like that, we can expand the settlement area. Now, all this falls under basically our official plan. Usually you do an official plan every 10 years. Our township's been way behind on that, and the only one in the counties. So we're really trying to get caught up on that. Mostly due because we didn't have the staff here to do it. But we do now, and they're working away on it. And with your official plan and the secondary plan, what you do is you have meetings with public, which we've had in the last year. We've had 2 separate meetings on our secondary plan. All that goes into your official plan, goes to the counties for approval. And what it does is follow the province's regulations on what we can do, what we can't do, sort of thing. And we have to follow that. So I mentioned quite a bit about Prescott. Yes, we are partnering with Prescott. You have to these days. We are partnering with Edwardsburg Cardinal also. In order to keep costs down, again, we had a 7% tax rate. That could have quite easily gone up to 10 or 11, but where you got to save money is to work together with your partners and partner municipalities. For example, we are helping Prescott with the water tower, and the bylaw is shared with Prescott and ourselves. The fire department services, they have contracts too and are shared, and the whole South Grenville area, basically we're working together to keep some of these costs down. As you know, we've given donations to the Elaine Chartan rink, and because it's mostly a lot of Augusta people are taking advantage of the rink, and that's great. You know, we just don't have a rink of our own. Not yet, someday, possibly. So again, that's the way to go, and everybody's doing it, is partnering with the other municipalities to keep the costs down. We also have, and the other thing we'll be partnering with is our police services board. Right now we have our police service board, which consists of myself and our chairman, Glenn Mackey, and we need one other person from the township. You don't have to have any qualifications other than you cannot be a former police officer. So if you're interested in that position, it's about one meeting every 2 months, and I think you'll find it interesting. Anyway, give us a call here. I suggest you call our CAO, Shannon, and he can set you in the direction, because you have to go on and basically apply for it. There's no cost to it. It's just to be a member of the Police Services Board. Volunteers. We have so many volunteers, and we appreciate them very much. We held our first appreciation night last October. We had close to 100 people show up, and I'm hoping for more this year. We gave them a free dinner at Roebuck Hall, and we just wanted to show them our appreciation. And a volunteer, it could be, you know, either you're doing you're a coach on a baseball for the kids' baseball, or you sit on one of the recreation committees, or you're on the economic development committee. You're still a volunteer, or the planning committee. So again, don't hesitate to get involved with the community. Our recreation, we have about 5 different recreation groups, you know, in the major settlement areas, which is North Augusta, Maitland, Hasmerk, Roebuck, Domville, Maynard, and we've put a lot of money. I'm talking like close to $2 million into the recreation of all those areas. We have more to do. We're trying to search for grants to put through so we can keep the equipment up, adding elevators, what can I say, in Roebuck Hall. Anyway, just upgrading the units and the buildings and the equipment. So we've hired a manager for our Parks and Recreation. Her name's Kathleen Cole, and she started off very well. So she is our contact, you might say, working with all the recreation committees, and does a super job. Now, the other thing we had, we signed off on a bylaw. I think it was early around the new year. We had a lot of problems in the last 2 years, short-term rentals. Short-term rentals are such like Airbnb and places like that. We have a lot of places not along the river, some in subdivisions. You'd be surprised where these rentals are. And they're very low-key. They're low-key until a party starts, and then they're upset the permanent neighbors who live there all the time. And we were having a real problem in one area. So we created a short-term rental bylaw, which they have to register and they have to follow certain rules. So it's just this is just one instance of things changing, not only here but around the world. Okay. Next, there's our school. Now, one of the things I said when I was campaigning is I want to save our school. I'm still working on it. We've had 2 meetings with the Ministry of Education, and we've had meetings with our Upcanton District School Board. Maynard School is slated to be closed, although they have not set a date. So we're trying to work with them to see what we can do. And is it a matter of building a new school? Is it a matter of, helping the school or changing it or adding on to it? I don't know. All these things are basically in the pot, and we got to look at it. And we want to make sure we have a school in Augusta Township, because 2 things people look at when they come to this township, and we've had a lot of people come from the GTA, the Toronto area, and Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, so, and the first thing they ask is internet and then school. And those are the 2 most important things to them. Also in our school, we have them more than just babysitting. They have about 200 children they watch during the day. And of course, you need that because if the parents are going to work somewhere, somebody's got to watch their children. And they also have a waiting list of close to 200. So that is a dire need. Again, the province puts limits on that, and we're trying to work with the province and the school board and see what we can do. So this brings us to the end, but I just wanted to, and I touched basically on a little bit of everything. Now I try to make my comments when we hand out the quarterly. You get that in the mail. And Vicki, our administration clerk, does a very good job. She tries to capture things that are new and that she thinks people will want to look at and notice. And a lot of people hang them on their fridge, to keep them as reminders and stuff like that. So give us feedback on that. And if you want me, like I said, my intent is to do this every year, but if you feel there's a need, I've got to do it, quarterly, then give us the feedback. Let us know. Anyway, your council's here and your staff is here to work for you. And we try to keep everybody happy. As you know, it's a difficult job at times, but hey, we're going in the right direction. We're getting our administration cleaned up, our bylaws cleaned up. We're getting new growth, new residential. So it's all good stuff. It's all positive. And again, we're partnering with other municipalities, so which are all facing the same problems. So anyway, I'll depart right now, but everybody say, give us your feedback and keep safe. Thank you very much.